The Bitcoin price is breaking all-time high after all-time high, while the Cronos social risk is near an all-time low. How is this possible? Well guys, I would say let's strap in and let's find out. This video is sponsored by Interlude, the play-to-earn game on the Cronos chain. Man, oh man, what a week has it been so far, with Bitcoin going to new all-time highs, but also Trump coming back with potentially a new trade war in the EU, guys. But overall, I'm very excited about the fact that the markets are moving higher again. And also Bitcoin dominance is clearly showing signs of topping out here. So guys, might this be the opportunity to actually take a look at altcoins like, for example, CRO? Well, in this video, I want to discuss all those things. But first, let's take a quick peek here at what Bitcoin has been doing so far. Because in our latest live stream, we've really talking about the fact really that we potentially would see a retracement of Bitcoin. And actually, in the live stream, we drew down this line here, where we had a beautiful touch after the trade war announcement really by Trump. In his latest post on Truth Social, Trump is talking about the negotiations with the European Union. And apparently it is very hard to strike a deal with them. Therefore, he is now threatening with a 50% base tariff on anything coming from the EU, starting already on June 1st. And that has really been spooking the market, guys. But in all honesty, if you take a look at the charts again for Bitcoin, we've been talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green weekly candles. 7 green weekly candles in a row. Since the beginning of April, it has only been going up and up and up. And that's not really healthy, not even in a bull market, ladies and gentlemen. If you take a look, for example, at the previous bull cycle here, even there, we didn't get 7 green weeks in a row. So this honestly is very special. Especially once you start to compare with the CRO chart that you can see here on the screen, because there we can't even get more than 2 green candles in a row. I would say though that if you take a look at this line here, the 21 week, it does make sense because typically it is hard resistance. And if you take a look at the Bitcoin chart, the 21 week, I can't even see it here, ladies and gentlemen, it's all the way down. So there is no more resistance from that one. You can see it's all the way down here. So basically Bitcoin is just a few weeks ahead of Cronos. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. But also what you can see here on the Bitcoin dominance chart, because a few weeks ago, we reached the all-time high for Bitcoin dominance so far. But what I like to see here is that we got a beautiful test here of this uptrend. So we touched this uptrend many few times. And now, after trying to rebound, it can't get any higher than this growth line anymore. So potentially a lower high here for Bitcoin dominance, and also potentially the start of really the altcoin season. And if we get an altcoin season, guys, it will tumble down quickly. And we'll start to see it first on Ethereum here. Ethereum is the coin to watch. This is going to be the kingmaker, I would say. And whenever Ethereum makes those big moves, I do believe that Cronos also will make those big moves. But okay, I think it also has to do with the following, which is not the tweet by Trump. No. It's all about this here, the Cronos social risk indicator. I'm going to talk all about that just after a quick word of today's sponsor. Interlude is a play-to-earn game on the Cronos chain. And the cool thing about Interlude is that you can find actual treasures with CRO in it. Normally, you need to buy that Interlude token on their website to play the game. However, right now, you can earn for free with their rate-to-earn program. You have to like, quote, comment, or retweet on Twitter to earn their in tokens for free. Check them out in the links in the description down below. Anyways, let's go back to the CRO chart, because we're talking about the relative underperformance of Cronos in comparison to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin goes from all-time high to all-time high to all-time high, whereas Cronos is trading near like 10 cents. Whereas we do know their all-time high was all the way back in 2021, near $1. So even to get just back to the all-time high, we're talking about a 10x. So a great opportunity, but why is no one here? Well, that's also what you can kind of see here on the Cronos social risk indicator, because guys, this is tracking all social risk. I'm talking about YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, everything that mentions Cronos is here tracked by my Cronos social risk indicator. As a quick refresher how the social risk indicator works again, if it's in the green region, it means it's the lowest risk zone possible. Therefore, it should be a potential buying zone. And red means, well, a lot of social risk currently, so potentially start to sell your CRO. That's kind of how I use it myself. And currently, we're just above the green zone, meaning about 25 here is low to medium risk. Low to medium risk, therefore, again, decent buying opportunity here. The better place to buy, that was just before the 70 bill burn announcement. That was actually the lowest I recorded with the tool so far, but 25 is still very, very decent. So the thing is with Bitcoin and also with other altcoins is that currently in general, people are still favoring Bitcoin. Everyone is talking about Bitcoin and no one is really talking about Ethereum or XRP or Cronos at all. That's simply the fact. That's also why the risk indicator is at such low levels. But the simple fact is, guys, the higher Bitcoin goes, the more it will go into the traditional news. You might have seen already a few newspapers talk about Bitcoin. And whenever people get into the crypto space again, they think about Bitcoin as an asset for $110,000. Nobody has $110,000 just sitting in their pocket, especially talking retail here. Yes, of course, BlackRock has a kind of money, but people think Bitcoin has become too expensive. So if you take a look then at Ethereum, for example, just about to 2,500, a lot cheaper. And also there, we do know the risk is also relatively low because we do know if it wants to go back to its previous high, it still has a lot of room to grow here for Ethereum. And especially for Cronos, knowing it is only 10 cents, so very affordable. People can still buy millions of CRO if they want to, at least at this price level. And it can go to $1. So it is really that simple, guys. People start to look at Bitcoin, think it's unaffordable. Then they take a look at the second largest option, then the third, the fifth. And then also they will come to Cronos. And when people see also the token price grow again, also the social risk starts to grow again because people start to talk about it on Twitter or Reddit, on YouTube. So also I've been tracking this for years by now. And it is very simple, guys. If you take a look at my videos about Cronos in the bull market, you can see the views were just so much higher. Whenever you see the views go that much higher again for Cronos videos, you know something is getting itchy. It's getting itchy to start to sell. That's the simple fact, guys. That's also why I am still very calm about this. I'm not selling my CRO to get Bitcoin right now. I think it actually would be one of the most stupidest takes or moves you could make now because it is near an all-time low still for CRO Bitcoin. It is near an all-time low. And just whenever we actually want to go back here, back in the zone, we get the Trump announcements for the trade war. So unfortunate, guys, unfortunate timing. I think, though, times will be better again. I think we will get a deal between Trump and the EU. Nobody wants to pay an additional 50% for EU goods again. So it makes sense. It's only, again, like a warning. It's typical Trump stuff. I'm done with it, though. I'm very much done with it. So I hope next week we'll start afresh again. Hope we get a deal and we can start pumping once more. In all honesty, when you see Bitcoin at such high levels and Cronos sitting so very low, you start to wonder if you made the right investment decisions. But then I think back of 2021 when it was exactly the same for CRO. CRO just boomed very, very late in the cycle, but it made a wonderful boom anyway. So I'm thinking this will repeat this bull cycle again. And luckily also we do have fellow-minded people like the Crypto Report and Oscar Ramos who have an exact same thought there. And if you want to see their perspective as well, don't forget to check out our latest CRO cast because we had a nice hour-long podcast with them, so check it out. Video in the right here.